Welcome to the Solopreneur Academy podcast. This is a podcast for entrepreneurs who want to make more impact and income in less time. I'm your host, Megan, and throughout each episode, you'll learn how to create the lifestyle and legacy you want as you grow. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Solopreneur Academy podcast. If you are listening to this live, the 5-Figure Foundation 12-month program is now open. I am so excited to have every single one of you guys joining in on this amazing 12-month program. And today, I'm just going to tell you all about it. And if you're listening to this live, there are going to be special bonuses that you want to stay tuned for. There are 3 of them that are going to help you to hit your first 10K and so much more within this program. So first and foremost, I'm going to give you an overview of what 5-Figure Foundation is. Then I'm going to tell you about those bonuses, and I'll tell you a little bit about if you are signing up after this, if you're listening to this podcast years from now, what you get when you join. So first and foremost, why I decided to create 5-Figure Foundation is when I first started doing business coaching, I initially was talking all about 6 figures, hitting your first 100K and then scaling up like I now do in the 6-figure scaling mastermind. And for me, I thought it was just so pivotal. There were very key pieces that took a business from just starting to 6 figures. And I was thinking that I could go the entire course of my business just talking about making 6 figures, and that would be great. But then I realized something that was really important. I realized that there were foundational things, simple things to help people make their first dollars that I had learned that would be accessible. And within my mastermind, it's a higher price point. It's more hours. There's more commitment. And I wanted something that was very simple at a low price point that's accessible to literally everybody that could help you to get started and get wins. I wanted every single person that ever listens to this podcast to have something that they could invest in at the next level that is a very low commitment, but also gives you every single thing that you need to set yourself up for success. Very simple strategies that you can implement. And that is why I created 5-Figure Foundation. Now, when I was initially thinking about people who were running businesses, I was thinking about people, again, who wanted to hit 6 figures, go full time. But I realized that people, again, needed a starting point. I saw people who were going through certifications, and of course, they do probably want to make 6 figures over the course of their business, but they were stuck and they weren't earning right away. They would go through and get all these amazing certifications. You guys have heard from Michelle. She was on the podcast 3 times and she was certified, had gotten all these different trainings and was insanely cool. But she hadn't signed a client for the 2 years that she had gotten all these certifications. And I wanted to have an entryway for people like her that were credentialed, did have some basis, or even if you don't necessarily have certification, if you know you can help people and just need the starting point to figure out what your basic offer is, how to get your first couple of posts out, how to get people DMing you, and instead of having an empty inbox, how to go through your first sales call. And so that's the things that I teach within the program. And then when I was thinking, so it's I was thinking about her and I was thinking maybe she wouldn't necessarily need to go to 6 figures right away. She just need to make her first dollars. Then I know that there were people that are side hustlers. I was thinking about Anne, who is also on the podcast. She has a full-time job. She works for her parents' company, also wanted to have her functional medicine business as she grew. And so she was always thinking, okay, when I have time for this happen, I need to figure this out on weekends and take up all of my free time to run this business, when really there were things that she needed to implement in very small pockets of time. I'm talking 30 minutes a day. If you can give me that, I know I can help you make 10K. 30 minutes a day to make 10K. It really is that simple. And when you think about creating a business that's sustainable, a lot of us, for me personally, that's what I had to do. I was starting, I was a teacher. I didn't have all day to work on my business. And within scaling systems, you don't have all day either. But within that kind of frame of mindset, I just needed to start signing clients quickly. I needed to get people engaging in my inbox. And that's one of the things that I taught Anne is how to engage with people. And that's how she got people paying in full without even doing consults from having DMs with them. And so I wanted people, and Anne actually joined what was called Five Figure Foundation. It used to be called Marketing Systems last year and started signing clients right away. And I was like, this is so necessary, so applicable, so quick and easy to implement. I wanted more we're those people who are the side hustlers that really don't have a lot of time. You need to consume maybe a few modules. You need quick application with support. That's really all you need to make your first 10K. And when you're thinking about that, using those limited hours, I think was really, really important for me. The other thing that I found is that there were a lot of people who were stay-at-home parents that decided that they wanted to start their businesses, but needed a place to start. And I'm thinking about Sally, who was one of my clients. She needed a starting place. She didn't have a job initially. She got certified and then was like, okay, now I want to help people. What do we do? And when I was working with her, we figured out how to get her marketing down pat. We figured out how to make her offer insanely tangible. And then in the first 2 weeks that we were in working together, her house flooded, completely flooded. And she had to actually move into an apartment even though we had just started working together, and she was still able to sign 3 consults in that first month because she knew the system. She had a good offer. She had the marketing down. She was getting her social media posts out from that crazy, I think it was an apartment or like a condo that she was in, but she was able to do that. And I want this to be accessible for more people. And then I also saw people that were incredible about with what they did, but then they would hit a plateau. I was thinking about Tracia. She went through an 18-month consult drought, even though she's lost over 100 pounds and she's already helped so many other people. She just needed a place to get started, especially when it came to like DM people, creating relationships, building up this community. She didn't have that. She was just at most posting, but also her posting strategy was so frustrating. She was feeling like she was getting nowhere, but it was because she wasn't speaking about 3 types of people that I teach in Five Figure Foundation. And just by her implementing the things that I now teach, she had an 18K day and passed 100K in full-time revenue. But those things, when you're in a plateau, it can feel like you just need one more thing. You need like a another certification. You need all of these things to be in place, a VA, CRMs, all this crazy complicated stuff. When I was like, I made my first 10K and 6 figures really from using Google Docs, keeping things really simple. And that's what I wanted to teach you guys. And I know that for many of you, you might be wanting to leave your careers. I know that Tracia, Teresia, and Kristen are all people who have had full-time jobs. Kristen is still in her job right now. They've all been, they've given testimonials. Not all of them have been on the podcast, but they have left their full-time jobs and they just needed a starting place, a place to sign their first few clients so that they could gain the confidence to say, hey, this works. I know what to do. And they could leave their now, for people who are joining Five Figure Foundation, I wouldn't necessarily recommend just like absolutely uprooting your job. I was coaching on that in the Facebook group, and I was like, don't just immediately leave your job. You don't want to make your business responsible for all of your life expenses right away. I would highly recommend nice safety net, having time to go through and really build up your expertise. And that is the perfect place for anyone who is in Five Figure Foundation. This is who I created this program for. You are at a place where you want to just make your first dollars. You want something to be really, really simple, something that takes very little time. I'm talking 30 minutes a day at most, and ways for you to connect with your people. This is the perfect program for you. Now, 30 minutes a day obviously doesn't include the actual coaching. So, full disclaimer, if you are working with people one-on-one, that is not included in the back end work. But I just wanted to wait for the back end to be really, really simple. And that's what we do in Five Figure Foundation. So, how we do this, it's through the foundational four. In Five Figure Foundation, you need four things in order to make your business work. You need a humdinger offer that makes people feel like it is just an easy yes for people. And I create in a way that makes the timeline, the price point, and what I call the intangible pillars for your business, which means you talking to people and explaining what you do better than they we do in what I call 10K. When you're thinking making your first 10K, you need to know you need to speak about things that your people are Googling, and that is what we have for your foundation. The very first thing before you start posting, even if I want you to your clearly with system regulation. That's now stressed on a Sunday and I can't sleep at night. Those are the words that actually have an offer that people are excited about, get clear results, that when you have people actually go through the offer, they do one of three critical things. They renew, they refer, and they give you testimonials. If you can have an awesome offer like that, it makes you life. And those were things that my clients did not understand. They you're going to be one of the people that they scroll past. How amazing that your clients understand. You're I want every single person to listen to this podcast to understand. And that is what we do. Very first, make sure it's think telling people about this. How do people know what you do? You need to have this podcast. Okay. Stop panicking because they're like, oh my clients to fill my roster. I've about that in the scaling systems mastermind, like mastermind now. But when you're thinking about creating your content, you need a way to get your content out every single week that is fast, that is efficient, and makes you visible for your people to find you and your amazing offer. In Five Figure Foundation, I call it the week content plan. And what you do is you every single and thinking about what you're going to you have core category that you talk about every single week. And then I give you three different types of posts. We've talked about this at length in the podcast, but the way that we craft the posts in there is very quick, it's very easy, and it's very doable. And then you get spreadsheets that you can go through. And again, it's literally in Google Docs. It's not fancy, but then I can literally go in and craft your content for you for the week. I can help you think about how can we say this in a really compelling way. I can see your posts and tell you, hey, you're doing great. Or, hey, this is, and I want you to have a place where you can get feedback on your social media at all times. If you want me to look at your bio, if you want me to look at a post, if you want me to see the way that your whole social media is looking, I know I've included social media audits. You guys, the VIP, I include those as bonuses, but you get literally any within Five Figure Foundation. So I want to make sure that anybody who wants better marketing, consistent marketing, and simple social media strategies, Five Figure is the best place for you to get it because my simple social media strategy has helped me make seven figures. And it's this thing I teach in there. It is so easy, so doable. And I want you to know that, again, when you're thinking about creating a business that doesn't just bring in your first 10K, but helps you make consistent income, this is the best way to do it. You have to broadcast to the world, hey, I'm open. It's like you open up a restaurant and you serve the best food ever. But if you don't tell people you're, if you don't have a billboard, signage, something to tell people, hey, we are open, no one's going to come. So you need to have something that's consistent, something that's in something that I love AI so much. I use AI to its full. And we talk about how to utilize it even more efficiently within both of my programs. But for you, you want to make sure that you have a strategy set up for a service-based business. You want to make sure that you're not just asking chat to post for you and think of all these random things. One of she was like, yeah, gave me all these awesome ideas. They were, but they were for program people who didn't have a one-on-one coaching offer. She was doing things like a four sessions for a group for $100. She had a like two sessions for $16 each, and they were so random and it was a miss. But that was just because if you don't give AI a strategy and a structure that works for a service-based business, it'll just pull random content strategies that even like influencers use. And you guys are not influencers, you're experts with influence. And if you just create a random social media plan, you could have the best prompts, the best topics, but it's not going to land for your people. You need to have a consistent way to get out there that's simple, that isn't recreating the wheel all the time, that sells one offer that is a humdinger, easy as offer, that 10K offer, and you can create that within this program. So again, even if you have made way more than, even if you made six figures and you're not posting consistently, Five Figure Foundation, just get a good content strategy out there. You can even train a VA to do it, but you want to be thinking about how can you make your social media simple and successful, aka people are signing up and paying you from your social media. If people are not paying you from your social media yet, you got to join Five Figure Foundation. It's just easy. It's simple and you will get people paying you from your posts. But that's not the only thing. You can have the best offer ever. You can do really good social media marketing. And if you have an empty inbox, guess what happens, my friends? You will have an empty calendar. This is why client conversations is the, and it's critical that you create client conversations now more than ever. Now, I always talk, you guys have heard me say this a million times about statistical inevitability. I want to make it so crazy inevitable that you hit 10K. And my goal is that you hit 10K in 90 days. Even though it's a full year, my goal is that everybody in Five Figure Foundation hits that five-figure mark 90 days in. But when you're thinking about building up these client conversations, if you do not engage with people, which I know they're going to be talking to your competition about entrepreneurs, then the time in the world. Even thinking about coaches, I want a person to have. I know that the world would be a better place if that were the case. And for service-based business owners, I've got functional stylists, graphic designers. There's a plethora of people in there. And I mostly work with coaches because I started as a coach. So that creating statistical inevitability, want to be creating conversations. And you thousands of social media strategy that chat gives you, thinking about it from invest are thinking about making these investments, which is a higher price point. You need to really feel like it's a consult. I went seven marketing, and that was enough. And it's thoughts that goes ghost. And any the algorithm that they are not bots. We want to do is know them. We know that that's open. You are getting flooded with DMs that feel salesy. Say 100 followers, and those things are really when it comes to being a solopreneur because you don't understand soft, medium, and hard touch points. You're not understanding how to warm somebody up. You don't know how to give them the value they need in order to even, and you're going to push people away. So in Five Figure Foundation, I teach you the relationships to revenue routine, and I talk with you about how to simply go just talk to people online, find out what their struggles are. And when I say you don't want to go too hard by saying, hey, work with me, sign up for a consult, sign up for a consult, sign up for a consult. Ew, right? Like that's never what we teach in Five Figure Foundation. Other thing that is also very inefficient is that 1,000 people value talk to people about what their favorite color is or that you can then build on and you can create a relationship that is something that could turn into a consult. There are also people that might be a good niche adjacent fit. So in Five Figure Foundation, we talk about how to get out there. If you have a tiny audience that's only friends and family, we first and talk about what to say for referral partners, but then we also go in and we talk about how to expand your network. You can't just build if you want to make 10K in 90 days, you need to be thinking about how can I get in front of more people that first off get in front of my people, but get in front of more people. I call this nurturing your audience and generating leads. So you learn how to do both of those in Five Figure Foundation. And these were things that, again, I was learning at a way higher level, but you need it now. In 2024, they did a study that said people need 7 hours of content, 11 different touch points, and four different ways that they see you in order to buy high ticket. So, if we're thinking about making it statistically inevitable, you understanding how to guide those 11 conversations back and forth is critical. And if you want to make your first five figures, sure, you can maybe post that, maybe come in and they maybe start working with you. But then what happens? You post and post and post, and then your consults dry up. That's again, literally what happened to me is I had 17 consults booked right away. I thought I was going to coach kids. Only three kids ended up working with me that ended up stopping throughout. And then I got a bunch of friends and family. There were people that signed up to work with me that had seen my transformation, which was probably happening to you. And then it was crickets 7 months because I wasn't engaging with anybody. I was posting to the void. And if it seems like when you post, you are getting absolutely no responses, you need a way to engage with people. Your inbox cannot stay empty. It has to be filled with people who are actually wanting what you have to offer or opportunities for you to expand your business, get in front of more people, or else you are not going to, if you make your first 10K, great, but I want you to have a sustainable way to bring in 10K as time goes on. And that's what you do in Five Figure Foundation. And so that are the first three: offer, marketing, client conversations. But then the last part is consults. You need to know how to sell. I have done, especially doing, and I know I don't typically work with brick and mortar, but doing wedding planning was an eye opener to learn how people do sales conversations and consults. Whoo, learned a lot. And I know that if you are incredible with your service, you are most likely not coming from a career or life where you know how to sell somebody. It can be really awkward. Again, even if you are the best person at what you do, if you don't have a way to guide people and talk about what you do and how you help in a way that's compelling to them, you're going to get a lot of like, oh, that sounds really nice. Let me think about it. I need to talk to my husband. When I want you, if you're going to make 10K in the next 90 days, you need to get people saying, when can I start? What do I do? What are the next steps? How do I pay you? That kind of urgency comes from understanding the psychology of sales and what I teach in the consult conversion blueprint. It's the way that you talk to your clients that get them to see the insane benefits of working with you so they would feel crazy not to sign up. If people are saying that they need to wait, if they are talking about ways that are, if they're saying that like, I just need to think about it, what's happening is you have not made a compelling argument that you will give them a return on their investment. They don't trust you. They don't see you as a value add as much as the money and time they would spend with you would be. They see that money and time that they would save, they don't have to get on calls. They're like, great, that seems like a lot of work to get on calls every week. If they're thinking about the money that you're spending, that would be money that could go into maybe my kitchen, maybe onto my, like, my kitchen's beautiful, but our yard in our backyard, I'm like, every penny that I spend with somebody is a penny that we are not putting into our amazing backyard that we need to rebuild. So for you guys, you want to be thinking about how are you helping people in a way that they feel like it's It's a no-brainer investment. It's something that they would be, it would feel ridiculous for them to say no. You need to do that on the consult, and you need a way to close people in a way that identifies their problem in a way that they haven't even been able to explain themselves. There's like, oh yeah, this absolutely makes sense. If I want a better relationship with my children, if I want to start dating again, if I want to move, if I want a promotion, if I want to get ahead in my life physically, mentally, emotionally, working with you is a no-brainer. And that's what we do with what I call the consult conversion blueprint. You learn how to take somebody and think about, and for me, I nuance it to your offer, which I think is also another pivotal part of it. You're not just learning a script. You're not, if you've learned scripts, if you've learned 7 steps, mine is 4. 4-step sales process. It's very simple, but it works because you are identifying somebody's problem in a way that they can't even explain it themselves. And you are showing that you are the best solution for them. And that is what we do in Five Figure Foundation. And I want this for literally everybody, which is why currently, and I probably going to keep this price point for a while, but currently, as you are listening to this podcast, I've made it 1,500 for the full year. Now, the only time this is going to change is that if you, well, I'm going to tell you about maternity leave in a minute, but it's 1,500 for the full year. You will get a 10K offer. You will learn how to convert your social media in a very simple way with my weekly batching plan. You are going to learn how to create client conversations through the relationships to revenue routine in ways that you can literally like build these DMs up as you're in the carpool line. Like very simple ways that get people to convert. It's so fun and easy. And then you learn how to sell and with the consult conversion blueprint. So all of these things for $1,500. That is for me, I was like, what would feel like the easiest no-brainer price? And it's things that I invested hundreds of thousands of dollars to figure this stuff out and have put it into a 4-step system for you guys to make it very simple, very easy strategies for you guys to use. And again, I've spent so much money figuring out what other people were trying to tell me in a way that was like actually doable. And I don't want you to have to invest in a bunch of different coaching programs. I don't want you to have to buy a bunch of different courses. It is your one-stop shop to make 10, your first or next 10K. And that is what we do in Five Figure Foundation. Now, I also wanted to make it very easy and very accessible. I think that 1,500, even as an elementary school teacher trying to build my business, I was like, that would have been a no-brainer. But I also wanted to give you the option to break it into 12 different installments. So you can pay it in, it's around 2K, but if you want to break it down, it's only $167 for 12 different installments. Now, people ask like, "Oh, is it like a membership? Can I like join for a month and stop?" It's intellectual property. So we want to make sure that you know that when you join Five Figure Foundation, you are joining and getting all the benefits. It's pretty much like a 2K course that you get access to for a full year. So you are going to be paying for that over the course. You're just breaking up the payments. It's not like you get to pay every month. It's a full payment. You are paying that 167 a month throughout the year that we work together. But within this program, Five Figure Foundation, to be able to start at 167 a month, to be able to get all of these things that I spent years agonizing over trying to figure out, and you get it all that quickly. I know that this is just an insanely good program for that offer. Now, you don't just get my modules. You don't just get my strategies. You also get weekly calls with this. Every single Tuesday from 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern, currently is what the time is. What we do is you get access to live feedback every single week. You can ask me any question about literally anything for your business within that time frame. You can ask me, "Hey, I've got a DM. What do I say? Hey, I this consult did not close and I don't know why. What can I fix? Hey, I want to figure out what my posts are for this week. Can you help me just write them or look over them and edit them?" We can do all of that on those calls. But the other thing that is a huge piece about putting yourself out there, making your first 10K, is your confidence. When we're thinking about the confidence that you need in order to make, even just tell people about your offer, even if it's an amazing offer, if you have never been to a networking event and you feel like a complete imposter when you jump in and you're like seeing all these other people who have these successful businesses and you haven't signed a client yet, and you have to explain what you do and you have to say, "Here's what I do, here's who I help," it can be soul crushing. It can feel like the biggest hit to all of the progress that you've made. And I want you to have a safe place where you can come and bring all of your woes, any insecurities that you have, and make sure that you get that fixed in a weekly basis so that the second that you're experiencing these emotional struggles, you have a support system to help you through. So that's what we do on the live calls. It's not just strategy. I have found that there are two things that you need to succeed is having the mindset, the social, emotional, and mental support, and the strategy to make it work. Now, a lot of times people who are business coaches harp on the mindset piece fully. And I think that is great. We just have different philosophies. For me, I knew that I could coach myself every single day to be the most confident person ever. But if I didn't know how to talk to people, if I didn't know what to say, if I didn't know when to move them forward to a consult, it didn't matter if I was the most confident person ever. It didn't matter that my brain was clean, that I was feeling very aligned with my offer. What I really needed is I needed somebody to tell me, "Here's exactly what to say, here's when to say it, here's what to do." And then when I got that, then all the mindset drama came up. Then I was like, "Wait, how can I fit this into my hours? I'm already feeling stressed. I'm teaching full time. How can I actually make this work in the minimal hours that I have, like during my lunch break and maybe after school in between clients? When can I actually figure out the things to make this work?" And that's what we also coach on. We coach on making sure your calendar is set up for success. We coach on how to make sure that you are staying regulated enough that you can actually deliver what you were promising. All those things are things that we do on the Five Figure Foundation live calls. Now, if you can't make the calls, let's say that you are working during that time and you can't make the calls every week, we have a stream. There is a private stream where you can post and you can get feedback. If it's 3 a.m. on a Saturday, you can post in there and get feedback every single week. So you aren't going to go a week without getting answers. You are going to go through. And if you have a question, if you don't know what to say in a DM, if you don't know how to reach out to a different person that you might want to partner with, if you're going to your first Chamber of Commerce meeting and or networking group and you don't know how to phrase your I help statement, you will get support with that outside of the calls too. Again, for $1,500. Now, this program is a 12-month program, meaning you are going to get 12 months with me. And within that, if you guys did not know, I am currently pregnant and I'm going to take a 3-month maternity leave. But never fear. The great news is instead of you just having a shorter time period with me, I want to make sure that every single person that listens to this call and is joining before June of 2026, I'm going to be able to support you for a full 12 months. So if you join, especially since the launch today is going to be February 23rd, 2026, when you join, you're going to get access to me for 12 months. But I'm just going to extend your enrollment. So instead of going from February of 2026 to February of 2027, you are going to get 3 additional months in Five Figure Foundation. You get 15 full months. So instead of you going from February to February, you'll get March, April, and May of 2027 included with my support. But what's going to happen during those 3 months that I'm not going to be coaching you? What you're going to get is you're going to get access to other amazing coaches that are going to lead the calls for me. Now, the discussion stream will be closed at that time because there's no way for me. I've been thinking about it for months and agonizing over it. And I realized that there was no way to regulate that in a way that I could pay people a set amount. So it didn't make sense for me to bring in contract coaches for maybe one week there's one response and the next week there's 20 responses. We would have to delineate every single response, figure out what the going rate is per response. Maybe a consult takes longer than just doing a post evaluation. And it was too much. So what we're doing now is we're just going to have those calls be open and you get access to the whole curriculum. And then when I come back from maternity leave, then we're going to open up the discussion streams again. And you're going to be getting my feedback along with potentially other contract coaches as this business grows. My goal is to help as many solopreneurs as possible. That is why I'm calling it the Solopreneur Academy. I want this group to be hundreds of people, thousands of people. I know that I can help so many solopreneurs, and I want this to be accessible for everybody. So that is what I'm doing currently. We're going to have that open and you get that 3 months of bonus coaching for free. It is going to be the exact same price point. You are going to have the payments that will be going through for those 12 months, but then it's going to give you an extension of 3 months when you join. So exciting times to be had. Now, if you're listening to this live, the bonuses might change, but there are 3 bonuses I want to alert you to. If you are like, oh my gosh, Megan, I've been thinking about working with you. I know I need my social media to be easier. My offer clearly isn't selling like I want it to. My consults are not it because all I need to think about is it. And my inbox is empty. I need to join Five Figure Foundation. That is you, I would love for you to join us in this round of Five Figure Foundation. And I have some bonuses for the people who are listening to this live. So if you are listening to this live and you sign up within Monday the 23rd to February 25th, you are going to get a 48-hour bonus. And I don't know if I'm ever going to do this again because for me personally, when I think about the time that I'm going to have coming back from maternity leave, I'm going to have very limited time to actually do live calls. But for the first 10 people that enroll, I'm actually going to do a one-on-one call with you. I'm calling it the 10K call, and it's only going to be available for the first 10 people that sign up. 30 minutes, and we are going to make you a specific and customized plan to make your first or next 10K. So that is what's going to happen. If you're one of the first 10 people to sign up, you are going to get that 10K call, and that is going to be available for you only until the 25th at midnight Eastern. However, I want you to make your first 10K or next 10K, but I also want you to make your money back. So if you sign up, and let me just make sure I get these dates right. If you sign up by webinar March 8th, if you are listening to this live and you sign up by March 8th, 2026, I also have a mini course for you called the Money Back Kickstart Fast Action Bonus that if you sign up by March 8th, you're going to get access to an additional course. And within that course, you are going to learn how to make it's $1,500 back within the first 30 days that you're in the program. I have 3 ideas for you that I'm going to have you go through, and you're going to decide, doing one a week, what are these fast action plays, fast action strategies for you to make your money back right away. There are ways that you can quickly create revenue. And I want to show you, I just want to have you make your money back in the first 30 days. I think it'd be fantastic. And then we've got 3 months to make you 10K, and you have a full year or 15 months of the program if you join now. So that is what's available. And then last but not least, if you pay that $1,500, instead of it just being oh, you save $500, I was like, that's good. And I wanted to make it great. And so for anybody that pays in full, you not only get the money back Kickstart Fast Action bonus if you sign up by the 8th, but you also get another mini course that I made called the 5-Figure Systems Startup Pack. For you, I want you having ways that you're thinking in a really strategic way about your business as time goes on. And that means that you need a way to track the people that you're talking to. You need a way to think about your posts in a way. I think I give you 20 different hooks and ways for you to convert higher with your posts. And you also need engagement tools and strategies for what to say and when to talk to people. They're even more advanced than the people who are getting, like, it's more advanced than the regular 5-figure client conversation protocol. We are going to be talking about having how to have like different high level conversations. And I do that in the 5-Figure System Startup Pack. So for you all, when you're thinking about joining, if you're thinking about joining 5-Figure Foundation, there has literally never been a better time to join. The first 10 people who sign up get that 30-minute 10K call with me. Then anybody who signs up after that, you are going to get that 5-Figure System Startup Pack if you pay in full, or the money back Kickstart Fast Action bonus if you do the payment plan, just as long as you sign up by March 8th. So I hope this was helpful thinking about joining 5-Figure Foundation, giving you a complete comprehensive overview. For those of you who are joining, I cannot wait to see you in there. And if you're listening to this podcast in the future, make sure you check out the link in the show notes. Things might have changed, the bonuses might have changed, but I still would love to have you in this program, and reach out to us to let us know that we might be doing a special bonus or promotion at the time that you listen to this, so you can maybe get that when you join. But that is it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to email support@meganwingcoaching.com. That's always in the show notes. But if you want to join, the link to join is right in those show notes. And I can't wait to see you on our weekly calls and in the portal soon. Did you know that 89% of people need to see a testimonial in order to buy? Get my free testimonial template using the link in the show notes, and you'll see exactly how I used testimonials to market my business as it grew to 120K in my first year full time and multiple 6 figures every year after that. Thank you so much again for listening, and I can't wait to see you on the next episode of the Solopreneur Academy podcast.